Hello, everyone. I'm Phalanges,
And I'm the gamer formerly known as Dazz.
and this is the MouseCast podcast for the week of Thursday, December 12th. Today, we're going to be talking about a Microswitch tier list. There was one posted to Reddit that I'll give my take on, and also, how about sensors? 3311 versus 3395 versus 3950. What's the difference? Does it actually matter?
Also going to talk about starting a YouTube channel from scratch because I did that this week. Uploaded some reviews and it's been going pretty well. Going to cover some tools I use, some lessons I learned, and potentially some more videos I might be making.
Sweet. Okay, so let's jump into. I'm going to do this out of order in our doc, but let's get some of the quick news items out of the way first.
How
So,
dare you?
the OP1W 4K released this week. It was delayed by like 3 days. Oh no. And I don't really. I, for me, this is like, okay. I mean, like, we all knew it was coming. It's not a surprise to any of us. Um, you got your four different colorways. I do think it's cool that they offer the translucent colors. Cool. I'm glad it exists. I'm not going to be picking one up.
No, I'm glad it's on Amazon too, but I've got the AK Purple Frost. The wire doesn't bother me. I'm all good.
Okay. So, question. You love the OP1W, right?
I do.
So imagine and the Purple Frost edition, right? Would you buy the wireless version if it came out in Purple Frost? Would you sell the wired and go for wireless?
I don't know. It'd be a real pain in the butt because I'd have to sell this Vaxee Oryza Bungee I also bought just for the OP18K. And I
Vaxee.
legit don't feel the. It's the best bungee by far. I don't feel the cable at all. I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't think they're making any more of these. I've seen people complain about it on Reddit because it's so good and you can get them used. Oh,
Hmm.
you can add the cart here. Okay,
Yeah. Interesting.
it's
Yeah.
only in white, but yeah.
I haven't used a bungee in a long time, but I did pick this up for Black Friday. This is a
Oh,
Pulsar.
the Pulsar one.
Yeah. It's just a little thing that clips to the bottom of your monitor. This focuses. So I guess I could actually bring it up, but it was Pulsar Micro Bungee ES, they call it.
Yeah, I've seen like mega recommendations for this whenever you Google best bungee.
Really, it seems simple, so I like that. And it's crazy cheap. I got it on Black Friday for like $5. So
Sounds about right. Yeah, I had some old Zowie bungees and they just didn't do it for me.
yeah,
So
for those of us who like sit close to our monitor anyway, this might make sense. But okay, moving on. Um, Again, I'm kind of going out of order here, but the Pulsar X3 was officially released, or reviews are in now. So YouTubers, Boardsy, and other people have reviews in. I think the reception has been positive. People said that they improved the clicks, right? I don't know. They're using Kale Opticals now instead of Raisha. Now, Kale Opticals, is that what the OP1, your OP1 8K is using?
no, they're mechanical.
Mm,
Is the way the contact point works. Yeah,
okay. Well,
I saw someone did post a review on Mouse Review today. Pulsar X3 is honestly just okay, except for one thing, and I don't know what that one thing is.
hmm,
But
was it
if you go, you can find.
okay? Was it
It's
that?
on Mouse Review top few posts down. Honestly, you could probably find it.
Okay. I was wondering if it was the guy who got his shipped without missing the top skate.
Oh, I've
Um,
actually traded with this guy on Mouse Market before. Interesting. It's
okay.
the Gengar one.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Gengar one. So, Mr. Gengar, can you summarize for us? I
This guy's
assume
really nice.
did you read it?
I have not. No, I just saw the title
Okay,
and thought it was relevant because you said all the positive reviews, and this guy was like, eh.
gotcha.
But
So, okay, well, his I don't know what he says. His TLDR is the
oh, he
Pulsar
hates the
X3
scroll wheel.
Mini weighs only 50 grams. Without a doubt, my favorite thing about the mouse is its shape. It's a smaller version of the G703, which is perfect for me. I love that the back half is ergonomic and the front half is ambidextrous. Does it indeed look like that? I think it did when I scrolled through it. Yeah, there you go. There's the front. Yep, like similar button height, but you do still do have the slope of an ergo. by no means is this a bad mouse. It just seems underwhelming. Main switches are good, side buttons are good, sensor is good, skates are somewhat average. The scroll wheel just feels cheap, which is interesting because Pulsar scroll wheels in their like X2H and stuff has been really good because they use like this like lever mechanism, this like roller plunger mechanism thing that makes middle mouse click feel a bit like a normal click and not just like you're bending the axle of the scroll wheel.
And Pulsar stock skates are typically good. So
Yeah, I know. I like people have different opinions. That I like Pulsar stock skates. They're a little bit slower, and I like that.
yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah, they're very consistent. So,
Oh, look at the top comment from our buddy.
oh yeah, which we learned. I messaged him on his name pronunciation, and it was Pizzogel. 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 Hard G.
Sounds like the gazelle of gaming mouse. I don't
Yes.
know. Yeah.
I meant to ask him and follow up with him, like, where'd you get your name from? Anyway, so at the very least, this mouse is high polling rate out of the box. 2K, I think that's a fair in my opinion. I like using my mice at 2K. Um, yeah, I actually don't know. Pizogel is saying impossible by default. I don't. Okay, well, I don't really have much to say on this, so I'm just gonna skim over it. Anyway, my only take on the X3, we already talked about this in a previous show when it was live on the Pulsar website. My only take on this is, okay, I actually have two things. The first thing is, which I think I have to go find another picture post of it. Which that's not it. Let's try this one. There was one. Nope, that's not it either. There's like a fat gap behind the scroll. Oh, there it is. Right? Am I tripping?
Are you?
Look at that gap behind the scroll wheel,
No,
right?
that's super unusual. Looking at all my mice on my desk, that's not normal.
Yeah. So other than that, which makes me wonder
Maybe
if
that
they,
played into it.
yeah, I wonder if they tried going with a larger scroll wheel. Like, I know my ATK Z1 has a monstrous scroll wheel. This thing is like when you put your finger on it, it feels flat. It's so big, you know. Um, anyway, no, my real take is that this mouse was so hyped up a long time ago, but wind was kind of taken out of its sail, I think, with we have the Sprime PM1. So people who wanted a small G703 shape kind of had an option. I understand that the shapes are in fact different, but look at the sales of this mouse. There's the people out there who like are diehards about this shape, so they'll get it. But fact of the matter is, it's still like way underselling compared to, well, I don't have the sales data, but compared to the popularity of like a Lamzu Maya or Atlantis or WL Mouse or whatever. Um, like this exists, but I don't think. I don't know.
What I heard today is that Sprime has basically gone like radio silent for like months now, and people are like potentially. I don't know if that was just Diamond Lobby being negative about it, like scared that like if they don't respond and they stop doing things, will the web software go away and will my mouse stop being like as functional? But
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, bit of a
that's all hearsay.
yeah, and they had good history in the past where they like shipped people replacement units that had the right click squeak issue without even having to send the mouse back. So I don't know. That might just be one person's take, but anyway,
Didn't we think this was Lamzu? Wasn't that like the
that they
thought that
were
Sprime was just a sub
ninjutsu.
brand?
They're
Or
using,
Ninjutsu.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but these factories and like design teams are probably all very similar. Like you can open up a lot of these mice that are polycarbonate, like the ninjutsus and the Sprime, and they have the same kind of ribs that follow like very similar curves, and they're made out of the same polymers. Um, yeah.
This and the Sora had a similar looking dongle too. Might have been one of the reasons.
Yep. Okay, well, yeah, not really anything else to say on that. Let's go over to a poop post on r/mouse review. So this was
It's a mod. What are you talking about?
this is a mod of I don't know. Describe this for the audio listeners, Dazz.
It looks like you've covered your mouse in the outer edge of a corn cob you've eaten the corn off of.
That's
But it's
accurate.
actually like dressing bandage. Best,
Yeah, yeah, gauze
Gauze.
tape. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like so. Okay, I haven't used gauze tape in a long time, but this is basically gonna feel like a rough Band-Aid.
It just can't be good.
So our homie OP here says, Electronic Weight 36 says, this mouse is never coming off my hand now. Sweat or no sweat. It's dressing
Is that what I
bandage.
want? Is that what I'm looking for in a mouse?
300 upvotes. Top comment is, bro's a cat.
It's like a grandma mouse.
It's like a grandma mouse. Yeah, it does seem like a grandma mouse. That is a grandma thing to do. How did you injure it so badly to begin with? Ha ha.
How did you injure it so badly?
Seek help. Yeah, these are good comments. Anyway, I think it's gonna get super gross really quickly. And okay, we do have to shout out homie for actually like look. He actually cut it like decently.
Better than some grip tape.
Yeah.
Go back to that side view. It looks creepily like an actual thumb.
It does look like a thumb.
It's off-putting.
Dude, that's amazing. That is.
Yeah. It's like right where my thumb. It's perfect. All right.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
wonder, can we see where he's gripped it? So, first of all, a pen mark here. I wonder if that was how he was marking it to cut it.
Is this the old Death Adder wired?
This is a newer Death Adder. You can tell by the scroll
V3.
wheel. Yeah, this is a V3.
Yep.
And he did the tape over the button fulcrum. I wouldn't have done that, but homie's gonna be a homie, so anyway. I like it when we get these crap posts to Reddit because it's just it makes my world go round, I guess.
Other people do too. Top upvoted post for the whole week. So.
Okay. Do you want to talk about? You want me to talk about a MouseSwitch tier list next, or a dream
Yeah, give it a
mouse?
shot.
Okay. Okay. So this is another top post from Mouse Review this week. Mechanical Switch
Your
tier
boy
list.
Thump.
Yeah, by Thumpmaga 2024. So, okay, so he says mechanical switch tier list from someone who is ashamed by the amount of switches he owns. Top comment is, why the heck are you ashamed of something like this? Own your crap, be proud of it. I'm surprised this one got upvoted like crazy, but whatever. I mean, so I'm going to talk about my take because I also have a ton of mouse switches.
Shocking.
I know I got into mouse switches like before it was cool. Back when I was like desoldering old office mice back in like 2016, 2017. But anyway, let's talk about his take. So he's saying S tier are Omron D2F F37s. These are the other Japanese Omron with the regular height plunger that not many people are talking about. It requires average force to be pressed. It's not overly light like the O1F. Very unique feeling, by far favorite switch on the market. So I haven't used this switch in particular. I know of it, but the Omron D2F O1F is most popularly called Japanese Omrons because they have Japan on the shell here, and they're characterized by a beige-ish plunger. These have a higher plunger, so I guess the O1Fs. So this F37s has a regular height plunger. So the plunger is this piece, the dot, people refer to it as. There are two different plunger heights that are standard. I forget the two heights. So you can get ones with a higher plunger that, so if you have like pre-travel in a mouse, that can help eliminate it, or like make it feel a bit different. So yeah, sometimes when you swap switches in mice, you have to be careful with the plunger height. I've never had an issue, but anyway. Next he has also an S tier. Oh, sorry, D2F O1Fs, Japanese Omrons. I would put in S tier. These are one of my favorite mechanical switches. They have a very nice quick rebound. They have a very sudden collapse. They're on the lighter actuation side. They're not overly light. I forget what their force is. Maybe 50 gram force. So they're on the lighter side. Most mouse switches are probably 60 to 70. They're not something crazy like a 30 or a 40. especially if you bin them yourselves. But yeah, they just have a really nice rebound to them. They're not very loud. I swap these into office mice mice that I used at the office because they're not so loud. Um, but yeah, they're not super sharp like a Huano green dot is. The collapse that they give is more of a rounded collapse feeling, rather than a sharp slap or something.
It's good info.
So he also has an S tier Kale Square Silence. He says it's not overly soft like brown Huanos, giving a full feeling when pressed and not making any noise. These do not have a small pinging sound like the Huano Browns do. So I haven't used these switches in specifically, but I think he's referring to just like, I wonder if I can actually Google this. Probably not. Yeah, okay, this is what exactly I was thinking about with the red dot and the bicolor casing. So you'll see these commonly used on middle mouse switches. I'm surprised he's putting these in S tier. To me, it's not a good experience. There's a reason why they're more commonly used in like budget mice, like silent mice, and they'll be used on the scroll wheel. You can see this one's being used on the scroll wheel here. They're not very tactile, as most silent switches are. I do
Yeah,
think
I don't get it either.
I do think these are shorter in travel, but I don't know. I don't know. A tier, he has transparent shell pink dot, so I'm guessing these are Huanos. These are Huano transparent blue shell pink dots. So Huano has a whole bunch of variations of these. These are a fantastic switch. I'm glad that these have overtaken KLGM 8.0s, which I think were overly crisp. These are nice. Their rebound is not quite as fast, but they have a pretty good collapse feeling that's eager, I guess, and they're on the lighter side. They also have a little bit of sponginess, which helps with rebound on your way back up for spamming. Juano also, I think, just bins these ones pretty well too, so you don't have a whole lot of variation. When you go to cheaper switches, you get a lot of variation. He also has black shell pink dot, so these are very similar. I believe they're just a heavier actuation force. I should actually bring up a, you know what? Could you talk about us? Do you have any experience with switches while I bring this up, Dazz?
Not a ton. I mean, like I like on-run opticals. They're not mechanical. I enjoy Huano Blue Shell Pink Dot. Like all of my favorite mouse clicks have been with the Huano Blue Shell Pink Dot. I've enjoyed the transparency as well. I've tried some like TTC 80 millions, I think. I don't know if it was the mouse they were in or the switches themselves, but they always ended up having like a hollow feel to them when I used them, which wasn't my favorite thing. So yeah, I've never purchased switches because the one time I tried, you said I have a whole emporium of switches, and you solved my problem for me. So.
I do. I have tons, and I definitely don't need them all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a. So again, you can buy these switches all day long on AliExpress. The prices vary a lot, so I would definitely look around. But I'm trying to find. Oh, here we go. So, so these are the powder point or the Huano transparent blue shell pink dots. 80 million. These are moderate strength at 0.7 newtons. You'd have to multiply it by the 2 gram force. You'd multiply it by the acceleration due to gravity, right? And 70 gram force, yeah. Roughly 10. So, yeah. The comfort is slightly good, but the strength is about plus or minus 0.05. That's a very tight tolerance. That's like a plus or minus 5 gram force. That's pretty damn good. I'm trying to see. So next, Thump Maga says he liked the black shell pink dots. I prefer the black shell version of the transparent because it's more tactile. That's true. And implementation must be done correctly as Vaxee is doing. Yeah, so I can grab some. Here we go.
Is this what Vaxee uses in like the XE? I want to say possibly.
Is it? I don't know. Yeah, I usually like to click using. So yeah, there's a black shell, pink dot. So, yep, slightly more force.
Yeah.
The collapse.
XE and XES use them. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, uh, just the XES. Also the E1 maybe.
I believe the X. Yeah, those switches are Vaxee's implementation is sick. It's really, really, really good.
So, at least from the ones I'm trying here, the transparent blue shell pink dot, I'm using just a USB to click it because it's about easier than my finger. It's a faster collapse and a lighter feeling. The black shell is definitely firmer. The spring is definitely firmer. It's a little bit less high pitched. It's a little bit lower pitched. And after the collapse, the transparent one, after it collapses, there's a good amount of collapse, and then it wants to keep going a little bit more before then it hits the spring that wants to rebound it back up for a reset. Whereas the black one, after the collapse, there's no kind of initial give after that. You'll hit the tactile point, and then it's all spring force that you have to overcome to come back down. So I like that. I definitely like the transparent blue shell more. Yeah, he's not wrong. They're not a bad switch. I don't think they're anything special though. He also has transparent shell red dot, the best light switch I've come across. I don't know these. So I think he's talking about these here. I haven't used these. Transparent red dot, pink dot, blue dot. Oh, here we go. There you go. There's the forces. So red dot, they're just different ratings according to this, and then green dot is also slightly heavier. So then again, transparent powder dot, the pink dot is 0.7 newtons, so that's the lightest. So these are all the same. This is actually saying that it's heavier than what he said, but whatever. KLGM 2.0s. Oh yeah, those are these ones, right? The baby blue ones.
Mm.
These are actually one of Kale's better switches in my opinion. Yep. So the GM 2.0s, unlike the 8.0s, which are these the Black Mamba ones, first of all, these 2.0s, they're very loud, and they have a very aggressive like top travel part. So like Omron, Japanese Omrons, these have a bit of sponginess and pre-travel in the Microswitch themselves, not part of the mouse. So that's controversial. These, on the other hand, have like no pre-travel. Like as soon as you put pressure on it, it wants to collapse. Good amount of spring force afterward. A little bit of like a hollow, like I don't want to say hollow, but like a thocky feel. These just feel like a robust switch. This feels like, I remember I got a keyboard from police cruiser cop cars. They would have a keyboard with a little touchpad on them, and that touchpad would have physical buttons because why not? And those used a cherry switch that was like a very, it felt like you could drop it, vibrations, being in a car, none of that mattered. You could spill stuff on it. It just felt like a durable switch. That's kind of what this feels like. I don't know why these didn't take off and instead the 8.0s did. I believe the 2.0s might have a lesser switch life rating. Yeah, only 20 million cycles, which is funny because like I don't know of any switches that make it to their life cycle.
Right though.
Dude, do the math, and like the mouse that you mained for like 3 years, you probably only put like 8-10 million clicks in. What else does he have here? I should probably go through these a little bit faster. In B tier, he has TTC 80 million. I don't know what the 1HM is, but yeah, there's two variants of these.
Million.
Oh, that's a stupid.
Probably. It is. I agree.
Phonetically.
I like the head. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I imagine these are the dustproof ones he's talking about, TTC Golds, right? There's two different plunger colors. I don't know
from
entirely
MouseCast.
the difference. Um, I think the black ones are heavier, but anyway, I like TTC golds. They are kind of a hollow feel. They have kind of an eager collapse like the KLGM 2.0s. They're a little bit heavier activation force, which is not my favorite thing. So if I look up TTC gold 80 million, um, these guys here. Oh, maybe the 100 million are the different colored plunger. Okay, wait, 60 million for I guess these ones. Anyway, these were revolutionary switch because they're dust proof. So when you are now that we're getting into mice with holes, this becomes more important because the dust can lead to issues with like the electrical contacts inside. So that's what this piece here is, like a rubber nipple that sits around it to prevent dust ingress.
Nice.
So the TTC Gold opticals use the same thing, which is pretty neat. Yeah, they just kind of have like a more hollow feeling.
One of
Um,
my least favorite feelings in a mouse switch
which
is
is,
the
yeah,
hollow feel.
totally fair. I like them because they are very tactile compared to like a lot of older Omrons, for example, and they're lower in pitch. I just have always liked lower pitched sounds. Um, I like these in the SteelSeries Aerox 3. Um, but yeah, they're not. Yeah, I still yeah, Huano transparent blue shell pink dots are still better. Kale green dot. Oh yeah, this is what Razer mice use. A lot of these Kale ones feel like a lot of these feel like Omrons. They have the tactile bump isn't super pronounced. They're very spammable because they have as soon as you hit the tactile part, it you already have the spring force pushing back up on you. It's not like the tactile bump really drops you down much. And they have a little bit of I think Razors have a little bit less of the pre-travel compared to some of the others. I have a couple here.
Is it coincidence that Razer used the Razer theme switches in their hyperspeed mice?
Um,
Did they make them for Razer?
yeah, yeah. So these companies, yeah, Kale will have a contract with them to produce so many switches at whatever cost, and then you know, Razer wants to have a little bit of input on the design and say, we want our mice to feel this way. I mean, this is nothing new. Glorious modified the KLGM 8.0 with their little orange dot. These are one of my favorite mechanical switches. I absolutely love these. I like collect them every single time I get a Glorious mouse. I harvest the switches out of it. Um, no, these Kale greens, they feel just like Kale makes a ton of these. They make ones with like a transparent white dot too, and this doesn't feel like anything inspiring. It feels a lot like there's a fair bit of pre-travel before you actually get the activation point, and then the activation point is there. It's not super strong. It's a rather high-pitched feeling. They're a moderate heft activation force. They're fine. I don't think they're fantastic. Um, he put them in B tier. I think that's good. He's not a big fan of the Omron D2F01Fs, the Japanese Omrons, which I like. He says 54 grams activation force. He owned 30 of them and measured them. Yeah, they are a lighter switch. The thing for me that I like so I like lighter switches because if you're having to press down heavily on a mouse, that's affecting your aim, right? If you're
Yep, 100%.
so, but also if you have accidental clicks, that's also bad. So I like them with a with a very light activation force because they have so much pre-travel at the top of the plunger. So you get feedback even when you do start pressing it, even though you haven't hit that tactile bump yet. That's super light. You're already getting spring feedback. So I like them. They're an old Switch though. They've been around for a long time. I have an old IntelliMouse Ball Microsoft. I have an old one of these. Yep. And guess what switches it uses? Omron D2F01Fs, Japanese Omrons. I had one brand new, got it new in box from Salvation Army like a few years ago, and I was like, I'm gonna spend $3 on this just for the switches. It was brand new. Weird. I probably could have sold it for some money, but oh well. Huano Browns. These are Huano tactile switches. These are I'm sorry, silent switches. These are the best silent switches I have used personally. I have not used a ton, so I shouldn't talk too confidently, but oh yeah, my camera's actually in focus. These are great. So tactile switches don't have a very good silent don't have a very good tactile bump. These are still nice. They're very spammable because it's all like spring. So you don't have like this resistive force. So it's very easy to spam them, surprisingly. But yeah, you just don't get that good click confirmation. And again, B tier, I would definitely put them in B tier for a. They're better than like a lot of the other silent square switches like he really likes, in my opinion. They are a bit spongy, but I think all like most silent switches are. So then he talks about that he has a lot of other garbage stuff, and yeah, that's how it is. So I don't really have too much else to say other than I will talk about some other switches that have gotten a lot of hype, and then I'll talk about some that like don't get enough hype. So there's Huano, what do they call these, like white sword or whatever?
Yeah.
These are basically a modified transparent blue shell pink dot with like a slightly tighter activation. I do like these. I don't think they're worth, on AliExpress they're not cheap. They're like $3 a piece. And then there's also the green ones. So it's the same thing but green from Huano. Again, I don't know. So this is what your X6 that you reviewed on your channel, Dazz. That's what this is using. Yeah. Again, I think they're fine. I don't think they're super special. But
No,
they're
nothing
also
unique.
yeah, they're
Not
also
bad,
not
though.
bad. Yeah, they're definitely not
Yeah.
bad. So yeah, and then some switches that I rather like that I can talk about would be yeah, I got a few. So first ones are the Asus ROG switches that they use. These are really nice. They look kind of cool and they have a nice tactile. They're kind of a more moderate tactile bump. They're just very spammable. I like those. So ZF also apparently makes switches. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of ZF. They make friggin' transmissions, or at least
Oh.
ZF transmissions. At least they do where I am located. Yeah, so this is ZF. They're a huge German company, but yeah, they also make small electrical components. So I can look up ZF Microswitches. So I got ZF Microswitch. Yeah, I got some from AliExpress. I got these brown ones. These are a higher plunger height, and these actually feel quite nice.
Nice.
They are fairly quiet and have a good tactile bump, which is usually those two things are not interchangeable. You know, if you want a big tactile bump, it usually gets loud like a TTC Gold. So those are worth checking out. And I think the king of, oh yeah, here's like some of those silent kills he had earlier. Oh, that is actually pretty nice. It has like no travel. That would be tough to use as a main mouse switch because people think that post travel is a bad thing. It's not. Post travel gives you rebound to reset. This has like no post travel. It is very tactile. I would not call this a silent switch though. Yeah. It's darn near silent though. So let's talk about probably the most underrated switch. Are these Panasonic black dot ones. I'll look these up. Panasonic Square Switch. These guys, dude. These are really good. So they're similar to an Omron D2F01F Japanese Omrons, where they're not very loud, but they still have a decent tactile bump. These are a little bit snappier feeling. The only thing that I don't like about these is that the switch itself, the like dot, if you want to call it that, it like wobbles within its housing a whole lot. So if you have like a pretty cheaply made mouse, it can lead to like some like switch grind wobble sort of. Yeah, they're also only 2 pins, but they'll work in any 3-pin thing. Yeah, and these things are crazy cheap too. I have a million of them because I desoldered a bunch of wheel mouse opticals for them. Really good switches. Really, really good switches. Yep. They don't have a lot of travel compared to some of the other ones. They don't have a ton of pre or post travel, so I guess you got to watch out for that. But there we go. That is a little bit of a rant on Microswitches.
I swear, for those listening, he said he was tired and he wouldn't talk much about him.
Oh my gosh, I talked way too much. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's move the heck on then.
All good.
Yeah. So anyway, I think his take is fine. It's good that he's getting information out there because there's not a lot of information. But if you're seriously going to go buy switches, these things have data sheets that you can look up that actually give the activation forces and the manufacturing tolerances. So don't just take someone's word for it. Oh, and don't worry about plunger height because it really doesn't matter that much.
There you go.
Okay. What else we got? We talked about the Kinesio tape mouse. Do we want to do a dream mouse that doesn't exist?
Sure. I have an interesting thought that just popped into my head, so I don't like myself for it.
Okay. So here's a post to Reddit by CJ, a top 1%
Same
poster.
guy who had the X3 scroll wheel post.
Oh, okay. Cool. He's top 1%
Nice guy.
poster. He says, "Hello, fellow enthusiasts. I'd love to hear what your answers are for my question. What's your dream mouse that doesn't exist yet?" His example is he really, really wants Razer to come out with a Viper V3, a wired version that will cost half of what the wireless one is, like what they did with the Death Adder.
Interesting to post about your dream mouse and then shoot solo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a basic request.
You know the amazing mouse that released this year? I just want it, but with a wire. Okay.
Let's ask for the Viper Mini wireless while we're at it. Razer, come on.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll go through some community takes, and then I want to hear your take. So, top comment is a wireless IntelliMouse with silent optical switches. Okay. Unfortunately,
All right.
homie, I mean, you can look up wireless 3395 IntelliMouse China. These exist. And silent switches, you just learned all about them. You can solder them in. So, there you go.
This guy, he must not want it bad enough.
He must not. G Pro Superlight for $10.
Okay, buddy.
I like
It's
his.
gonna be double clicking. It's not gonna work.
I
Yeah.
like his honesty though. I mean, there are GPW, GPX clones, right? Like the Incot G23.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
This them chose A7. I don't know what it is. One of them.
OG wireless G303, so not the big Shroud version. So this actually there was a post on Mouse Review of this a while back. I don't know if you saw this G302 wireless mouse review. There's a guy who G303 wireless. He 3D printed a shell or something. It's actually
Yeah, I saw
really
this.
clean.
Is it the second post there? Oh, different post. No.
No. Well, top.
It's a G303 shell and wireless.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I can't find it. But point is, yeah, there's a guy who did a really clean mod using, I think, a Rapu PCB.
That is my least favorite mouse company name, to the point where I won't use their mice. It sounds too dumb.
Yeah. Okay. What's your take? What was your spicy take?
Well, I started to think about this, and then my mind created the Sora Vaxee Ninjutsu, because I was like, I want Vaxee's coding and clicks the Sora back hump. And I was like, wait, we just trashed that mouse last week. What's wrong with me?
No.
No, stop it. Yeah, I don't know. Viper V3 Pro coding. Like Vaxee XE clicks with a back hump shape like the Sora. Give me some Thorn side buttons.
Oh yeah.
And some Lamzu stock skates. How about that?
Lamzu stock skates, Lamzu scroll wheel, Lamzu's click implementation, Lamzu's
Ramsey does a lot of good stuff.
They do,
Not
yeah.
gonna lie.
My only problem is they're older. I love the XM2 shape. I love the Atlantis shape, but the quality on their older ones, unpopular opinion, I'm not a. The base is like acrylic plastic and it feels cheap. Um,
So for some reason, I've owned 3 Atlantis minis, and the quality was widely variant and good only one time. So
hmm,
yeah, I agree.
yeah. Anyway, I think my take for this would be, well, two things. If I had to just pick a mouse right now, it would be a Wise Owl Cloud shape. Make it a bit more narrow though. Keep the same length, but a bit more narrow, kind of like how narrow the Viper V3 Pro gets. Um, Improve the side buttons because the side buttons on the Cloud kind of suck. And Omron optical switches. Honestly, if they released a Cloud with Omron opticals, I would just go buy it. I don't spend full price on mice. I think I would for that. Yeah, and Wise Owl is releasing the Cloud S or XS, smaller
Yes,
version,
I
and I'm very eagerly awaiting that. I think that'd be my answer, but I really think Dream Mouse would be like the orbital pathfinder
Oh yeah, yeah.
because fact of the matter is I'm I'm over looking for an end game. I know which shapes I perform well with, and I still go and pull other things off my shelf to play with. So I think a kit like this would just be fun.
I do
Not
have
to,
one more take, I guess.
yeah,
A more practical one. The X2H Mini, 2 millimeters longer with Omron opticals.
dude, I
I want
don't
this to be a little bit longer. I don't want the ratios. I haven't tried their new switches, so maybe those are good. Maybe a little bit narrower at the grip width, like at the waist as well.
totally agree.
Make
Absolutely
that
agree.
mouse.
Absolutely agree. That's why, yeah, that's the thing. The Cloud is very similar to an X2H kind of shape. It's that rear hump with, oh, hello dog. That rear hump with like a very tapered waist, but then a nice um, hip flare. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about you started a YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I was debating if I wanted to buy this Dharma Shark X6/Max mouse, and I was like, well, I haven't seen a review on it, so that'd be a good place to start. Oh, I got a subscriber since earlier. That's cool. Yeah, so I had 0 subs when I posted that first video, starting from the bottom. This mouse turned out to be pretty good. If you've watched my video, I'm going to give you a quick update before I talk about YouTube, and that is if you press in the back button here all the way, you can't really see it, it will just sink into the shell, and I'm not convinced the mouse won't explode. So the side button QC, didn't mention that in the video because I hadn't discovered it yet through some usage. But anyway, this mouse is good. If you want a quick summary, it's actually very similar to an XM2W, Store V2, X2H, just kind of all mashed in together. It's a size lengthwise that's not ever quite been done in this shape, so I like it quite a bit. For the price, it's ridiculous performance. Anyway,
Okay.
when it comes back to YouTube itself, though, like some stuff I've learned, some stuff I would say is if you want to do it, just start doing it. Don't worry about it being perfect. Don't worry about all the production stuff. You will learn every video you make, and you'll get better at it. Something else I learned is that if you do a product that no one else has done a review on in that language, you'll get more views than if you do a product there are a bunch of reviews on. Because I came out with an X1 review today, and the review or the views on that video are tracking much more slowly than this Mad G review and the X6 review that I did. But it was still fun, and I enjoyed it. So like that, don't let that deter you from creating a video. Just do what you like. I have not scripted my videos at all, really. I just have like a base outline of what I want to talk about. If I forget to talk about something, I just shoot another real small clip, and just jump cut to it, and it's not really a big deal. Because I'll like think about the video I shot throughout the next hour or so. I'm like, oh, I should talk about this real quick. I should talk about that. You could even just do it to a black screen, honestly, and drop gameplay over it, and it works pretty well in the video. Um, Tools I'm using. What was the video software, editing software you've been using? It was from TikTok, I want to say.
Yeah, I have been using CapCut, which is made by ByteDance or whoever owns TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, owner of TikTok. Yeah. So I've been using DaVinci Resolve, which is shockingly free and like really, really full featured. It seems for the full version. I just googled top ones and I was like, I'll try the non-TikTok version. This thing has been really good. So I have 2 semesters of limited video editing from my senior year of high school, and Final Cut was the last time I did that to age myself 14 years ago. Uh, this is very intuitive, and honestly, if you want to edit a video very simply, like just cutting out little parts of a clip, throwing stuff together, adding audio and text, if you don't know how to do it, you can Google it, and there'll be a video or a text guide in like 2 minutes. You can learn how to do it. So that it's been super intuitive. I think my thumbnails have gotten a bit better each time. I've been using the first time I used Paint.net and it wasn't really doing what I wanted it to, so I swapped to just the free online version of Adobe Express, and it's been very, very good for being free and online. If you just go in there and like search YouTube thumbnail, it'll pop up like a little template. You can just upload an image and then drop your text, little arrows, images, and stuff like that. So that's been super helpful.
You know what I use for the MouseCast thumbnails?
What's that?
I think well, I do think you know, but Google Slides.
Oh, really?
It works surprisingly well because it's you're just overlaying images and text
Yeah, yeah.
and then moving things around. And then
Nice.
if you want a template for like a mouse for a podcast series, right? You just copy paste that slide, change the date.
I may try that my future ones.
It
That's
does
very
work
nice.
surprisingly well. Yeah. And then you from Google Slides file download as PNG. You can just download the file as a PNG. The slide.
So as far as these videos go, I've been surprised on like the amount of feedback and the amount of views for like a 0 sub channel. Like
Yeah.
all I've done is made these videos and I posted them on Mouse Review, and like 2 of them having over 300 views. I'm very, very happy with that.
Yeah.
And like honestly, every comment you get is it's very satisfying. Like it's good interaction. People like will compliment or have more questions. Just good feedback. It's just it's a fun process and a nice creative outlet.
You want to answer
For
this
some
guy's
reason,
question live? He posted 20 minutes ago. Can you add the grip width? Is someone with larger hands? I want to know how the grip width is. Tell us the grip width.
on the Viper V3,
That is
it gets
actually,
the next one. It gets nice and narrow at the center, and I really like that about the
yeah.
mouse.
I do actually notice the the X1. It's narrower, slightly up higher than the Viper is.
It is interesting. Something I did not mention in the video.
Yeah,
Something
they
I did
feel.
mention in the video is saying the sensor was further forward than the X1, and it was not. So I had to drop some text fixes on there.
Oh,
Did you catch my failed mouse? Did you watch the whole video on the X1?
I listened to the whole thing, but I don't know if
Okay.
I was there.
Towards the yeah, there's halfway through this end part of the outro, final thoughts timestamp there. There's a part, right? There's a part where I try to spin the mouse, and it is a truly horrid attempt at a mouse spin. I feel like Wardsley rolled over in his bed when I did it. But
Yeah,
no.
he's like actually insane at how he does the mouse
I
spins.
have mad respect for it now. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it
not
it
easy.
was actually that challenging. I got a quarter spin, but there it is. I slowed it down and just made it look horrible because I couldn't believe how bad it was.
I
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
thought my computer was getting fried.
Oh yeah. See, that was a great effect that DaVinci Resolve took me 2 seconds to add. Props to that.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, I've
Okay.
learned that I don't love the shooting. Like I have like this weird anxiety about shooting a review, and then I start it and it's fine and it's fun. But I have that a lot in life. I do enjoy the editing though for some reason. Oh, it's
Yeah.
nice to see it come together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't like doing all the different shots. I don't like the whole like planning and composition and scripting and stuff. I want to just like sit down and get my thoughts. Um,
That's why I've kept like the one like camera angle for the most part, and then I overlay like software or just like the.
that's easy
Honestly,
enough.
it's
Yeah.
usually an AliExpress listing that has like the differences between the Pro, Ultra, Pro Max. So.
You use OBS for screen capture?
Yep.
Yep.
I'd never done YouTube before this week, and I downloaded OBS and DaVinci Resolve and had a video up in like 2 hours. So it's shockingly intuitive if you're at all tech savvy.
Good. So, your message then, just to reiterate to other people, is that try it if you're thinking about it, right? It's not.
Give it a shot. If you hate it, that's fine. You learn that you hated it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it might be a nice little hobby.
yeah.
Like, hey.
You don't have to, like, you shooting and you're not happy with it, you don't have to upload it. But
And if your goal is monetization on YouTube, good luck, because you need 1,000 subs or 40,000 hours of watch time right now. And oh
both,
boy,
because I have
or
1,000
both.
subs, yeah. But
Yeah, it'll
there's
last a year.
criteria. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gone way up.
Yeah. Okay. So what else do we want to talk about? Sensors?
Oh, yeah,
3311
do it.
versus 3395 SE versus 3395. And then I'm also throwing in there 3950. So this person at Realistic Owl asked difference between these sensors. First of all, 3311 and 3395 SE. The 3395 SE is only in the Vaxee
R1
R1
SE, right?
SE, and it
Yeah.
is
Yep.
literally just the 3395 SE is a 3311. It's just, it was like the first 3311 mouse, and I guess they didn't want to call it that.
So like the 3395 Stupid Edition.
Yeah.
I've heard it before. Was fine.
Lesser edition.
So,
Yeah. So that's the thing. So um there was somebody who said someone said the 3311 was, oh, for 3311 I got a lot of sensor spin out. So you
hey,
guys, if you actually want to look this up, PixArt 3390, it's PAW 3395 dB, I think. You can actually look at the data sheets for these. So the things to watch out for are the power consumption, so the run current, milliamps. So there's a high power and a low power mode. Tracking speed in inches per second. Acceleration matters, but not at this point. This is in G's of acceleration. DPI, we all know, doesn't really matter beyond, like, I don't know, what people use, 3200 max.
I would hope so.
LOD, programmability, resolution error, lower is better. They don't advertise this on like any of their products though, except for the 3395. But 650 inches per second is insane. I mean, 650 inches is 54 feet in a second.
So you're never coming close to achieving that using a mouse. Yeah, it's perfect.
So I remember like my swipes max out at probably like in game, probably like somewhere between 100 to 150, and then if I'm actually just going for it, maybe like, I don't know, 2 or 300. So
So yeah,
650 is plenty.
yeah.
The reason I bring up tracking speed is you look at the 3311, its max tracking speed is 300 inches per second. I could have sworn it was 400, but anyway, 300 is plenty fast enough.
So what effect does the 35 acceleration there have, if any?
So acceleration, this is starting and stopping, right, accelerating and decelerating. That's just I'm not an expert here, but I remember, what sensor was it? Tracking speed and max accel kind of go hand in hand. I don't know if the acceleration has something to do with like actual physical electrical connections within the sensor, or if it has more to do with just its ability to take pictures and such. But acceleration is just like, again, how fastly you can start and stop, but it's a different way of measuring that rather than inches per second. Because again, inches per second, that's just a constant velocity. It doesn't account for acceleration or decelerating. But 35 Gs of Excel is plenty fine. Realistically, you're probably like going as fast as you can, maybe somewhere between 5 and 10 Gs if I had to guess. Oh yeah, 12,000 CPI is fine. So again, 3311 like on paper is fine. What these things don't tell you are some sensors used to really struggle with fine details. Laser sensors are an example of that. That's why optical is what we all use nowadays. Laser sensors had problems with acceleration, not Sorry, not like start-stop acceleration, but like acceleration, speed-related accuracy variance, or SRAV. So that's if you like acceleration curves that you can get from Mouse Excel. That's separate from G's of Excel. Um, yeah, some older laser sensors would also struggle. That's why Rocket Jump Ninja would do it as like pixel by pixel movement. So 3311, I have no problem with any of those things. The only problem I've had with the 3311 is liftoff height, liftoff distance. And that was only in the Attack Shark R1 that I had.
Okay.
When I changed the skates on it, I changed to thicker skates, and then it would like lose tracking if I moved it not very quickly at all. The main downside to the 3311 is the higher power draw. It consumes like 3 or 4 times as much power as the 3395. And then they're also usually paired with, because it's a budget sensor, it's paired with a cheap, inefficient controller. And then 3950, I don't even think Pixart has info on their website on it. But it's basically a 3395, but you have a little bit more granular LOD adjustment. It's technically like 0.2% more accurate, and it's 750 inches per second rather than 650. I don't think Vaxee straight up said it in their video of the XCS. They said, "Who cares? Don't upgrade," just because of the sensor. And and they want to sell you a mouse, so. But we did see news the other day that apparently Pixart has been pressuring manufacturers to not sell any 3950 mice below $42 USD because they don't.
Yeah, because we saw so many cheap 3395 mice. Yep.
Yep. So that makes sense. Probably until they have like their next product that they're working on or whatever. For example, the Razer Viper V3 Pro. That's not using it. This is not using a 3950. It's using something newer, but Razer has exclusivity to it.
Yeah, they're always one step ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, but otherwise the 3950 is in the like Viper V2 Pro. I don't know what the Dave uses. I don't know if it's
Dave.
I think it's the 3950 in the Dave, and the Viper V3 Pros is the only one using the new one. Yeah, that's all I have to say on sensors. I don't know. Do you have any experience here?
Nah, I've never had one spin out on me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we are spoiled. I could go into a whole history of how mouse sensors used to flawless mouse sensor list. Remember, you know how like
There's nothing like Rocket Jump Ninja making a mouse spin out in his review. Like,
yeah,
that was always satisfying.
it actually used to be a problem, but we used to.
Yep.
You know how there's like spreadsheets for mouse pads nowadays? That was how we got sensor information back in the day. So,
Yeah, we're spoiled.
yeah, we're spoiled by like now the only thing like you buy any wireless mouse pretty much these days and it's fine, it's good as long as the like firmware implementation is solid, which that's what PiezoGal uses does the Lord's work for all of us there. Okay. Moving on to I'll make this one quick. I got an ATK Z1. I'm not a super big fan of it. It's a fine mouse. I'm just not a fan of the shape. Good build. Lovely orange color that is way too vibrant on camera. Great side buttons. Armor optical main switches. Weirdly huge scroll wheel. Like when you put your finger on it, you're instantly like, oh, that's a huge scroll wheel. Both in like width and in length and stuff. It's massive. It's weird. Skates are fine. They're like a VXE R1 skate. It's just like a Teflon. It's not. They're slower than the X1s. Ping pong ball like surface finish. It's not really coated. It's a really thin coating if it's on there. Solid choice.
Yeah, I'm salty about it because my order on AliExpress was canceled, and this is a great review candidate for YouTube. But
it is. I know. Yeah, you want mine? I'll trade you for the Maya for a week. I don't know if I'll be able to pry that out of your hands though. You said
the
you're loving
Bungee.
it. Or sorry, Yeah.
Yeah, it's my guinea pig right now, which I'll get into in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, you might like this because you grip so far forward. You might like how rounded this edge is here. You might like this a lot. You do not have the walls like so many other mice have these days.
Right.
So that might be a problem. Another weird thing is the base actually comes up a bit high. So the way I grip, my ring finger and pinky finger actually kind of want to grab that ledge there. It makes me wish that that ledge was up even higher and then it would be a grip point, because that's the problem I have with ergos is they don't have a grip point on the right side. So I end up doing
Right.
like a tilted grip and playing more relaxed like this, which is comfortable, but I lose fingertip ability. So anyway, it's a solid choice for 50 bucks, but I don't know why I keep buying ergos because I always go back to ambies. Always have.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What's wrong with us? But really, we've had this discussion between ourselves a handful of times. Anyway,
How about a we forgot to talk about Addis in our Black Friday deals, but they had like literally probably one of the best Black Friday sales.
just half off a whole bunch of pads, good
Yeah,
ones.
good
Unlike this
pads.
one. I mean, this was a good pad, right? So I picked this up. It's the ChengYing. I can't identify it by the symbol up here, but I can by the surface. So ESPTiger does this thing where they're different colored pads, they're often different speeds, and I was unaware of this on this pad. So I've read about this pad in black being legit faster than the Raiden, which would be awesome to test out, and that's why I got it. The pink has about the speed of a Saturn Pro, which is controlled AF. So it feels good and I can perform well with it, but it's not what I'm looking for in a mouse pad. But I've got it now because I bought it and I opened it. So it's very smooth. It is like a unique feeling. It's almost like I would describe it as silk. It feels really nice, which really makes me want to try the black one now,
They're a
given the speed.
spandex pad, just like the Infinite Speed, right?
It is, but it feels even smoother.
Wow.
Like it's would recommend the Surface, would not recommend the pink. There's also a blue. I don't know what the speed's like on that one. Black fast pinks though. So
How about the
ironically, I'm
base?
using this right now. The
Oh yeah.
base is very, very sticky. Like it's shiny if you pull it up and look at it. So
Can you
which
show us?
listing is this one? Yeah. I don't know if you can see the reflection
Oh
of it. Yeah.
yeah, kind of like the gecko.
Yeah, so it will stick to your desk very nicely.
Hmm.
And the pad size is, it does leave something to be desired. What is it, 480 by 400? Yep. 40 by 400 is not ideal. It's not 490 by 420. It's definitely not a 500 square. So it didn't affect me playing on it,
Yeah.
but
We forgot to go over what's on our desk right now.
oh yeah, that is on my desk for this review. But what I'm actually using on my desk is the SkyPad 4.0 again. Thank you, Phalanges. I had legitimately packaged it to return it to Amazon, and then he commented on one of our videos about top aimers being good with it, so that I like coped it right back out of the box. And I slapped on these Obsidian Pro Air Dots, which are the most controlled skates known to man. So I'm currently using them on this pad that you're looking at for this stream, just because I wanted to show that pad, and I'm like, my mouse is stuck in mud. The experience with them on the SkyPad 4.0 is interesting. It like so normal skates on a SkyPad on like glass pad, like there's a little bit of like a shakiness by default that I feel that because you just don't have those like cloth pad training wheels on. This almost puts those training wheels back on in skate form, which is interesting. And I started to perform better on glass with this. Um, Even like the like a 180 tile frenzy scenario, my PR is now on like the SkyPad with these controlled skates, which is an interesting thought because usually going fast on that is the best for that scenario, but
Do you wear a sleeve?
no.
Would you benefit?
I So I threw a sleeve on. I haven't tested a bunch. I performed less. I didn't perform as well with it, but my arm also didn't get as cold, which is still my main glass pad complaint. Cold arm, cold hand, bad aim. So, but I'm leaning toward keeping the SkyPad now, which is a sad realization. We'll see.
Damn, you paid full price too.
96 on the one sale. I think it's like 130 retail.
Okay.
Undecided. I still have over a month and a half until the return window closes.
And what size is it?
Let me check on that.
Okay. While he does that, I'm gonna pull up another Addis ink purchase that both Dazz and I got, which is the Errennir Gecko. So I was hoping this was a spandex pad, but I was wrong. The Gecko, it's unique in that it has a rubbery, like a silicone rubbery base. Here they are putting on the hood of a car, making it look like they are pulling the car with it, but really they just have somebody sitting inside the car giving it some gas, probably. Um, the surface, so the base is that rubber, like super glossy rubbery silicone. Uh, then it's rather thin. It's only 3.5 millimeters, and then it's dense, so it's heavy feeling. So it's like a mid. It's a firm base.
It's very firm, yeah. Unlike the one I showed, that's more of a soft for the
Okay.
ChengYing.
Yep.
Anyway,
But the surface on this for me is like nothing special. So I have also on my desk ATK F1 with my snotified rubber grips. Still loving that, even though I have to replace it probably once every few weeks. Um, I'm using a $10 ESPTiger. They're only 500 by 500 pad, the neon or whatever. It's like a Logitech G sort of. This is just your typical like shiny mouse pad surface, like not stitched edge. This is what a typical pad like feels like a QCK or whatever, like nothing
yeah.
special. That's what the Gecko is. It's a little bit faster. It definitely is faster than this. Plus, it has a mid base. The surface is faster than this. I think it's a little bit more tightly woven than this one, but it is just that typical like cross-hatched wheat woven mouse pad fabric that you can get from anywhere.
What's funny is I did read multiple reviews that called it almost spandex-like, and it is just not. Although I've had a very positive experience with it, I aim very well on it, and
Oh, that's
I
good.
like the Nacho Customs design, and yeah, it's been a good thing for me. But I know you're
Good.
pretty disappointed that it's not the surface feel you were looking for. But
Yeah. It's just not distinct enough. But I am really glad they had a good price on this. They had these for $22.50 with a
yep,
Nacho Customs colorway. Both Daz and I are the type of people who are like, oh, dang, I should have gotten this one. Why did I guess I do like how pink this one is. The like blue splotch here looks like you spilled something. I don't think I'm a fan of that. Maybe I should have gotten this one. This one's pretty clean. The yellow and blue is sharp.
stop talking about that. I debated these two designs so long.
Oh no,
You went
dang.
with the same one. I like the pink though. That was what sold me on the blue pink.
Yeah, I like and the
Yep,
big yellow glove. But
like
500 by
graffiti look.
500 by 500 is cool. It is a cool design. But yeah, I wouldn't have spent $45. The surface ain't that unique. I'm sorry. The base is unique. The base is pretty cool. If you just want like a firm base QCK, this is it.
And this like plays back into the argument against glass pads, in that they're all very similar experience, and you can get so many different experiences across cloth pads.
Yeah.
Also, the Sky Pad's 490 by 430.
Yeah. So okay, jumping back to what you were looking up. You were looking up
That
the
was the
size.
Sky Pad size. Yeah, 490 by
Oh
430.
my gosh, I'm sorry. I totally blanked. 490 by 430. Okay, they just have to do an extra
Odd size.
10.
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
Yeah.
And if you put a cloth pad on top of that with the bases that these have, it sticks a lot, and you can't
Yeah.
sit it exactly where you want it unless you place it precisely where it has to go, which has been
Yeah.
annoying. So, not a normal thing somebody would encounter, but yeah.
Yeah.
I bought the Kun Lun ESPTiger pad as well. It's like a meh. It's like a meh Heian. It's like an 85% Heian. It's not as abrasive. It's not quite as fast. It's
Kun
nothing
Lun.
special. I. It's not bad.
Uh,
It's not worth $45 when you can get a used TN, lightly used TN for the same on mouse market though. So
gotcha. Okay.
especially at this size,
Yeah, dude,
not bad.
they need to make a spreadsheet showing all their products.
This is my Errennir Gecko. I'm just super disappointed. Don't really feel like using it ever again. Not sure why I have it. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I'm still happy with mine. The line I've drawn is anything that's not 500 by 500. I'm just not gonna buy unless it's like a really unique surface. I
that
still
is
stand
fair.
by. I also got ESPTiger Blaze V3. I think I've already talked about this, but this is a pretty unique Cordura pad. It's the only Cordura pad that I know of that has design to it. It has a soft base, but the firm Cordura surface makes it not really want to give that much. It's a smooth feeling Cordura. Like it's not rough on your. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not abrasive, but it still is rough. It's rough but not textured. I don't know. It's
I get you.
um.
Is it kind of like that rocket pad, almost like?
It's like blue jeans, for example. You rub your hand over like blue jeans. You can tell there's a lot of like the weave is a lot of ups and downs and stuff, but it's also not irritating. I mean, it rubs on your legs
It's
all
not
day.
sandpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this pad is amazing. I am currently using mine. It's only 40 by 400, and I'm using it at work, rotated vertically because I like the extra
Nice.
on my. Dude, if they made this in a 500 by 500, I would just buy two of them and I'd just be done buying pads. I absolutely love these.
I don't believe that for a second. Done buying pads for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's like that other guy who posted. What did he post? He posted like like we're at the end of the show here, so it's just. Did you see that though? He was like end game pad setup or whatever, and then
I did, yeah.
oh yeah, it was this ESPTiger pad. Is this a coated pad? No, it's a plastic pad. That's right. This is a resin pad.
I like the art a lot. It's pretty cool.
So he says, I found my endgame mouse pad and I'm not joking. Parentheses, kinda.
This is once again the same guy we've been talking about all his posts.
Oh, no way, dude. Come on the pod. So this is the ChengYing. Yeah, very cool design. It's like if Pokemon was designed by a classical artist.
And then put in an inconvenient size of 480 by 400.
Yeah, dude, ESPTiger.
What?
Imagine if they just did. Why are they so locked to that?
I don't know. No one else even does that size, let alone keeps it only small and doesn't offer an XL square. So
Yeah, like I use I use this size at work with that ESPTiger Blaze V3, and then I come home and I game, and I notice I'm lifting the mouse way too early. Oops.
that makes sense, yeah.
And it's like
Subconsciously.
actually a problem. Um, yeah, so then I end up with like awkward contorted angles and when I'm like tracking somebody far away or whatever, and I'm like, why did I contort myself? I still have, more distance, but anyway.
Just to circle back, watch Addis for sales in the future around holidays and such, because that
Yeah,
sale was great. They had really cheap skates too. Tiger Arcs for like $2 or something. A
99
dollar.
cents. Yeah,
99 cents. Yeah.
yeah,
So
and they were 2 packs, so that's cheaper than AliExpress. I only got two. I should have gotten more. Like you can even just get like Viper Ultimate skates is what I got because those are just they're not dots but they're small rectangles. You can put them on a bunch of different mice.
that's the best skates for like the HGX, HG, all those mice use those, yeah,
Yeah,
because of the size.
yeah. Resin pads are good though. I talked last pod about cutting boards and stuff. Resin pads are good. There needs to be more because there's really not enough. And last topic, scroll wheel rubbers. So here's a mod I did this week. Well, they finally arrived. Um, yeah, you can take the scroll wheel out and replace it with a size 10 silicone wedding band. Different scroll wheels are different sizes. Like the ATK, this one's monster. This is probably like a size 13 wedding band, maybe size 14 if I had to guess. Like the Dave is, oh my gosh, dude, that Z1 scroll wheel is so much bigger than the Dave's. It's hard to see here. It is so
Crazy.
noticeably bigger. The Dave is a size 12 ring.
I
The
would like a spreadsheet, please.
I know I have started it, but it's too much work to track. I probably won't be doing it. The X1 is a size 10, and most mice I would say are more like a size 11. But again, these things stretch. Just the problem is, as you stretch, that also means it gets thinner.
Yeah,
Um,
durability loss. Yeah.
yeah. So
You like it?
I do really like it. So you want to make sure that you get one that's a these are all 5.7 millimeter width. Like a 6 millimeter width would be good. Again, all scroll wheels have slight variations, but I got a handful of different ones. I got some with like a little design and stuff. Um, yeah, so if you want to try this yourself, get yourself some from AliExpress. They're pretty cheap. These do have like a warning that they might contain cadmium and lead, because I guess the molds that they use for these, in China they'll often alloy those steel molds with like lead or cadmium to make it easier to machine, to like drill out the the cavities and stuff. It's freaking crazy. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad idea. But
I mean,
I
if
don't
you've
know.
got that scroll wheel going and your chemical coating on your mouse, dude, you're just setting yourself up.
I know I'm gonna have like the most diseased hands. Oh, the only
And
other
then
thing
you're
else,
gonna need those medical bandages. You're gonna need some gauze on your mouse.
gauze on my
You
mouse.
come full
Yeah.
circle. Yeah.
Avoid the glitter ones because the glitter like comes out of the silicone and starts getting all over everything. So avoid the glitter ones.
I know my wedding band cost $40. This like rubber one. It was like a you can't see it. It said hello there and had Obi-Wan's like face on it, but I wonder if they have like little textured wedding bands for like cheap, but you could also get like a texture or like a print on your scroll wheel if you wanted to have some kind of like unique.
So they do sell scroll wheel rubber rings. They're just expensive. This is a welcome deal. Um,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, this is a welcome deal. Otherwise, I would have done these all day long. These are like, I think you actually do legitimately pay around $6 for these. That's too much. So
It is way too much when your switches can cost $1
yeah.
on
So
AliExpress.
um, what I did like were fish scale wedding silicone. These ones.
Yeah, something like that.
You just need to make sure that you get in the correct width because like these are men's. These are going to be 8 millimeters wide, which is going to be too wide for a scroll wheel. You need 6 millimeter.
My hand needs like 5 probably. These skinny
This
fingers.
this is width. Oh, okay.
Talk about my skinny fingers. If I
S-
flip the camera off.
So I
Nice.
am gonna order some of these because I think the problem with just getting ones that's just a solid color, it makes your mouse kind of look like a Happy Meal toy. Texturing is definitely desirable. So I'm gonna try with some of these fish scale ones. Ordering these.
Curious to hear how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, and you also want it to be thin because if it's really thick, yeah. So again, the ones I ordered were the ones I showed. These ones is what I ordered. Okay. Um, we are an hour 17 in. I think. Do we want to end it here? Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Okay. Cool. Well, you heard the man. Thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please consider sharing it with your fellow mouse nerds. If you have any questions or want to submit ideas for discussion topics, leave them in the comments below. We'd be more than happy to engage with you guys. And I guess with that, we'll be back next Friday with another episode. So we will see you all then.
See ya.